Busted! Batman author arrested on 20 counts of invasion of privacy, bathroom hidden camera scandal, and he basically got let off. I don't know how he's not going straight to the wood chipper.
Well, some interesting news has dropped about this proud feminist liberal man. Apparently, he was recording women and children in the bathroom. Here's a post from Valerie D'Orazio, a former editor, where she at least worked at DC and Marvel and MTV. She's been a big critic of a lot of these mainstream comic book people for a minute. Said, just read a news story about a guy I used to know in comic circles who identified as a huge supporter of women's rights, who I guess just got caught secretly videotaping women in a bathroom and admitted to it, and called it a tremendous lapse in judgment. Oh, really? Yeah, he's actually trying to slick his way out of this shit. I don't know how that's even possible. I just find all of this pretty funny.
Not only do I think people who do things like this should face capital punishment, the people who facilitate these things to happen over and over again and don't punish the criminals should also face capital punishment.
Now, I would love to show you some of the posts that he said where he runs around calling everybody, the usual buzzwords, Yahtzee and bigot and all that stuff. But he's completely deleted his Blue Sky and his X. I think all of his social media posts have been deleted. And it's funny, this guy was always stirring up shit. There would be times where people wouldn't talk at all. I was talking to somebody about him a little bit ago. Yeah, and he was right. There'd be times where things would kind of calm down in the comic book space, and then this guy would push his head out from a hole and stir shit up again.
That's usually how it tends to go. The hardest leftoid freak defenders and the pushers of the ideology usually end up being the most degenerate of the freaks.
20 counts of invasion of privacy for using a camera to record unsuspecting victims at that birthday bash last month. The 50-year-old hosted the party at his house on May 23rd, where both adults and children used his bathroom. At one point, a woman found a cell phone in the bathroom recording video. He had allegedly set the phone up and concealed it with a towel and then aimed the phone to record people's genitalia as they used the bathroom, police said.
That is one of the most disgusting things that I have heard, and I don't know how this guy wasn't just fucking murdered on the spot, for one. Wood chipper!
He got confronted and he admitted to everything, while claiming that he deleted the video. And then he sent an email out and apologized to party guests. So he's admitted all of this to multiple people, and the court records have it. This guy is screwed. And says it right here. It admits to everything. I think this is wonderful, and I hope this asshole goes to jail for a long time. I hid my phone in our bathroom for the purpose of spying on our guests, my closest friends in the world. I had never done anything like that before and don't know what possessed me to do it, he wrote in the note. And he's prepared to face whatever consequences will come from this tremendous lapse in judgment. You know what's really funny is I don't see a lot of these comic book pros even calling him out. If anything, just like with that last guy that worked on Border Town, they're trying to sweep up their ties to him and make it look like they never really knew him, even though many of them, especially Heather Antos, has been on panels with him, has worked with him, is in the same circles with him. It's a lot of the same people. Nobody really talented that's really, really in demand are really a part of this Whisper network. It's mostly just scumbags with mediocre to no talent that want to police it. And I want to know, what kind of trouble could he be facing? So I asked Grok, because I am not a lawyer, gave them the article, and asked what kind of trouble is he looking at based on this. Well, 20 counts of invasion of privacy under California Penal Code, specifically related to using a hidden camera to secretly record guests, including both adults and children, in a bathroom, aimed at capturing their genitalia, apparently is just a misdemeanor in California. Isn't that messed up? Like, you can pretty much just do whatever you want in California when it comes to degenerate behavior. It's just weird. This is why I would never want to live there. I don't get why anybody else would want to live there at this point. Beautiful weather, lots of corruption, though, and weirdo people.
Like I said, round them all up. Capital punishment all around.
Usually a misdemeanor. First offense, up to 6 months. And then enhancements, if any victims were minors, which it says there were, the penalties increase, and it could go up to 1 year with a $2,000 fine. The problem is he's got 20 counts. So he could end up getting significant jail, potentially months to a year or more total, depending on how prosecutors group them and any plea deal. So he might get some jail time. I'm actually kind of surprised that there's a chance that he might not get any jail time. Like, here's some of the stuff, too. Looney Tunes Treasury, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Ultimate Visual History, and The Definitive History of Batman. So DC Comics has worked with him, too. Isn't that funny? It's all good, I guess.
Moving on from that disgusting situation to talk about some stuff that I actually like to talk about. Corporations absolutely shitting all over themselves. Disney and Kingdom Hearts caught using slop AI. And I guarantee you all the leftoids who pretend that they hate AI are going to have nothing to say about this, and they're just going to keep defending Disney.
Kingdom Hearts, apparently the Switch box art for the Kingdom Hearts Collection 1 through 3 has been accused of using AI. Professionals are embracing these tools. They're afraid to talk about it because they don't want to get canceled. But the truth is, most of what's being produced today is being produced with the assistance of AI.
I don't really mind the use of AI as long as it's used for good and not slop and not to cut corners, because it's obvious.
It's actually Disney too. Disney has apparently been busted. Now, this one, I do agree. I think that they are using AI, at least for, in between frames. It's a huge time saver. Most people are not going to notice. Animators are going to notice because we have some assets just disappearing. This is coming from Nintendo Everything. Kingdom Hearts Collection 1 through 3. Nintendo Switch 2 box art replaced following AI usage accusations. Again, they can't say definitively. The company has not said. Why would they? Why would they? Same with Wizards of the Coast. They got busted 3 or 4 times using AI, and now I can guarantee you that they're using it on Magic cards and in D&D art right now, and they're just not telling you.
And once again, I will say that I do not mind as long as I cannot tell. A lot of the times with those Magic cards, though, the ones that look gay in particular, I can definitely tell.
Square has gone ahead and updated the box art for Kingdom Hearts Collection 1 through 3, following claims the original image was made with the help of AI. The new version isn't live anywhere just yet, but starting to appear at some retailers. Fans quickly noticed a number of inconsistent details and parts of the art being warped. That led to the immediate accusation that AI was involved. Although AI may have been used, the conversation might be slightly more nuanced. Blue Sky user Kahani pointed out that series creator Tetsuo Nomura made the original art, but was likely then put into AI to change character positions. Again, this is probably the best use of it currently, is to make quick changes to things, because you'd be surprised how many hours it can take sometimes to make changes. Just like back in the day with comic book art before digital art, if you were drawing and inking comic books on Bristol, which a lot of people still do, by the way, because they want to sell the originals. But if you screw up, especially on the inking side of it, you have to basically replace that panel. I'm not sure exactly what the complaint is. People said about Donald. Oh, Donald's got too many fingers. And his tongue is a little weird. Okay, as somebody who's drawn Donald Duck art officially for Disney, I would have picked up on that immediately. I'm just saying, I would have picked up on that immediately. As you can see, all the oddities like Donald's fingers don't appear in the original version. Okay, so that's what they're going with then, is the original version. And it seems the original untouched version is used for the Japanese PS5 and Switch 2 version of the game. The PS5 physical copy is exclusive to Japan, but then this is where it starts to get weird. The US Switch 2 cover of the game uses the shitty modified AI version as a cover. Yeah, so this would be somebody doing it on the cheap, probably at Square. So it seems in the end, the blame lies with Square Enix's U.S. division, which, believing that the Japanese cover art wouldn't appeal to Western audience, decided to modify it using AI rather than commissioning a new one or simply keeping the Japanese version.
The U.S. division of Square. I guarantee you the person responsible is a leftoid who hates America.
If this shitty cover doesn't change in the future, I think I'll buy the Japanese version of the game. Update. To prove my point, another Blue Sky user, one of the artists who can mimic the best of Nomura's art style, stated exactly the same thing. So I think they modified it. And look, I mean, you're well within your rights to buy or not buy, but what I'm saying is I'm seeing some really insane threads. And I've seen some people get accused of using AI that aren't using AI. Full disclosure, my shitty thumbnails are AI generated. On X, how come Walt Disney Animation, a $2.3 billion company, is laying off animators and making AI slop garbage to save money? It's not even hard to tell. These frames are milliseconds apart, yet she has an earring in one and not the other. That is how it appears, yeah. Because you can see it right there, and it's not there. Even these frames, they're seconds apart. Her hair clips are wrong. The earring is missing. And the bangs are off. This is the same scene. So the earring just like magically appears? Or does she get the earring at some other point in time in the... No, it looks like the same scene. There's like... Yeah. Interesting. That's interesting. That is an interesting catch. Alvin De Cruz says, art errors do exist in human created works. Very true. This person says it's not AI slop, it's an animating error. Well, actually, no, I actually do agree with the original poster on this one. They said there are other aspects of the trailer that make it seem AI generated and overall bland. Bland, absolutely. The latest Disney stuff is bland. See also Wish. I only pointed out this specific error I noticed. However, it's been pointed out that errors like this happen even in 3D animation, so it's definitely just a suspicion on my side. So her earring is hidden under a braid, this person says. Not defending Disney's support of AI at all, but this can easily be a human error. People are pointing out Elsa in Frozen in 2014, and it would have been animated in 2012, 2013, that her braid just like magically appears from behind her head. And that would have been to speed up or give the appearance of fluidity. Sometimes in animation, you fudge things to give the appearance of fluidity because the human brain will notice something really jarring.
I don't really care about any of this. Disney movies are kind of just mid nowadays. It's kind of expected that there's going to be these errors. But it takes so long for these movies to come out and they spend so much money. Why the fuck are they cutting corners like that? Like, sure, use AI, save some time, but holy shit, look at it. Just look at it. It would take you a day to watch it in slow motion. Hundreds of millions of dollars involved, by the way.
Brian says the kids don't care. If this is a massive upgrade over YouTube slop, it gets them closer to being a $4.6 billion company. Kids care, parents care, you should care. No, Brian's right. Brian is right. At the end of the day, what's going to decide whether or not this is successful is, do enough people care that it's going to hurt Disney's bottom line? Does the product not taste good? It just has to be good enough, right? McDonald's could definitely make better hamburgers, but they would have to charge more for them. And most people won't care either way.
The problem with that analogy is McDonald's doesn't spend $10 on every hamburger and then charge you $5. Moving on to the GTA 6 situation. We all knew that there were going to be multiple disasters hanging around this release, and here we are.
So a lot of people have been really angry about what's happened with Grand Theft Auto. GTA 6 pre-orders begin tomorrow. The standard edition of GTA 6 is going to be $80. It is an $80 video game. The Ultimate Edition is $100. GTA Online 2 will be sold separately. We are cooked.
Actually, I'm okay with this decision. If they keep GTA Online separate from the main game, I'm cool with that. They can sell it as a separate game. It doesn't bother me. It basically is a separate game.
Having stores locked behind the Ultimate Edition in a single-player game is definitely a choice.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. And didn't we already try this before with GTA and it just didn't fucking work? Like, does anybody remember the blimp and all of the pre-order content that came with GTA 5 that they just had to make free anyway?
Grand Theft Auto 6 locks all of these stores and features behind a $100 paywall. Look at all this. It's not that bad. This is what I think. Most people will accept this gladly because they're really excited about the game. But I also think that this breaks the ice for it to happen with other games too. I think this could be your new normal. Almost Happy, the base version of GTA was only $80. But they're locking basic features from previous games behind a $100 edition. So this is where I think video games are going to go towards. Really big AAA games are going to have two versions. There's going to be the GOI version and the Chosen People version. The Chosen People version will be a little bit more expensive, and it'll be, let's say, $90, $100, $110, something like that.
And I will remain one of the wise chosen who will just wait a few years and buy the game on sale complete. No $100 paywall.
I think people are underestimating how deep the customization in the game is going to be. The value will outweigh other games' shop items. Do you understand that a lot of people don't want to buy a video game and then have to spend additional money to unlock features that are artificially removed from the game unless you pay extra money?
That's literally what microtransactions are. This is literally a forced microtransaction if you want to play the entire game how it's meant to be. And honestly, if you pay for this shit, then you fucking deserve it. You deserve to be out $100. I'm not gonna be. Good luck.
I think people don't like this on like an idealistic basis. Right now, we are watching the Overton window shift in real time. People rationalizing, justifying, and okaying something that if Ubisoft did it, they would be losing their mind. My take on GTA 6 Ultimate Edition is that pretending to be mad about a couple of vehicles and cosmetics in a deluxe edition is peak performative outrage. I think that he's right, but here's the problem. What happens when you normalize it for one thing and then it becomes the same everywhere? Because do you remember what else they said was performative outrage?
Guys, it's just one horse armor. It's not a big deal. You can get other horse armor all around the game. What do you mean?
This is why people are worried. Very, very problematic door to open that you have more things that are locked behind day one DLC. Day one, you have to pay extra money in order to get base features of the game. I think it's total garbage and total bullshit.
We've already been through this shit. I don't want to go back through it, man. I went through Gamergate once. I went through it twice, and it's still going on. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of this shit, Grandpa. Moving on to the Steam Machine pricing situation, the prices of computer components have gone completely insane, and it's not gonna stop anytime soon.
Yep, the Steam Machine price has been revealed here. 1,050 clams for the 512 gigabyte no controller variant. If you want the controller, it's $11.28. I'm very surprised they're even selling a controllerless version. That's a little odd to me, but I'm assuming it's because every controller can work with it, but still. Then if you want the 2 terabyte, $13.50, and then 2 terabyte with controller, $14.28. It's a pretty penny, bro. That's clams on clams. And as I said, 3-4 months ago, I wouldn't be surprised if it went over 1,000, but I had my fingers crossed, fucking 4-leaf clover in my ass, whatever, trying my best to remain optimistic that it wouldn't. But because of the AI shittening of everything, the enshittification of everything, thanks to AI, the price was always going to be crazy.
I don't really blame the AI for all of this. Really, I blame the giant corporations who are behind big AI for all of this.
So it's in this gray area where it's not the best console you can get, and it's not the best entry PC you can get. So I don't see why I would buy it. It's just sad because it's pretty clear the reason the price is here is because of the AI ass blasting. From what I understand, it was probably going to be around 750, which that makes a lot more sense. If it could have come out like in the summer of 2025 or even a little later in 2025 at 750, slam dunk. Absolutely slam dunk. Even Valve's not happy about this price. I bet. Again, bro, it's, as I said, I know that they are not responsible for why it ended up at this price. I get it. It doesn't change the fact that this is just not a deal I think is worth getting. I know that it's not Valve's decision. They were apparently eyeing a $750 price point, which, as I said, that would have been a fucking dunk. That would have been a slam dunk. That would have been a good deal.
My top dollar for this was going to be $900. I was willing to pay $900 at most for this machine, but since it's not $900 and it's way more, actually, it's not even $1,050. It's more like $1,400 if you get the full package.
But at this, it's not. Do you think Valve would price down the machine if storage prices normalized? It's very rare for a company to do that. Like, it doesn't happen super often unless they're really in the dire straits. And I'm pretty confident this is still going to sell out. Like, I think just in the current climate of consume by all means, it's still going to sell very well for them. But you know what? I'd give Valve the benefit of the doubt. They've always been pretty decent when it comes to, like, valuing customers. If prices normalized, yeah, they might knock it down a bit.
I seriously doubt they're going to come down off of this price. I guarantee you it's going to get a lot more expensive. This is the cheapest that we're probably ever going to see the Steam machine. I am, however, still very, very interested in the Steam frame. If that thing's not going to be $1,000 or more, I'll probably get that. Moving on to the major layoffs that just hit EA before the Saudi Arabia takeover.
The Saudis haven't even taken control of EA yet because the buyout has not been finalized, but there are a number of cuts happening anyhow, and it sounds like the positions affected are mostly non-developer roles, which suggests a few things about what we are seeing. First of all, with the kind of roles that are being removed, it sounds an awful lot like the bloat and excesses of the past several years are being undone. This is a company that is planning to operate at a much more streamlined pace, but it also suggests that this buyout deal is expected to go through, despite more hoops that need to be jumped through in order to make it happen, which of course won't make the Redditor class very happy at all as they learn how tenuous their grasp over the gaming industry really is. It says down at the bottom there, another round of EA layoffs has been announced, this time affecting an undisclosed number of employees.
That means a whole lot of people were just laid off. That's a number that they can't let people know because it'll be even more damaging to the company than just leaving them on.
In non-development roles, back in March of 2026, players were told about a wave of layoffs that had reportedly struck the end-to-end network of studios backing Battlefield. All of this is coming just before the company's $55 billion sale to the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. Now, another round of layoffs affecting remote roles and an office in India has been revealed. And now, for a little added context, it should be pointed out that this $55 billion deal is a heavily leveraged deal, which means that the Saudis borrowed a lot of money in order to make it happen. That means they are going in debt, and they are going to have massive interest to pay off, and they will want this paid off as soon as possible.
We really did try and warn people that all of this was going to happen. They needed to stop being so toxically positive and defending these giant corporations for basically no reason other than just to be against us. Probably because the corporations pretend and pander to pride.
A report from Kotaku reveals that EA has recently conducted layoffs, although the exact number of affected employees has not been disclosed. These layoffs have been confirmed through several public announcements and insider sources. Additionally, Insider Gaming has corroborated the information through our own contacts. The impacted employees include remote workers in the USA, as well as staff at EA's office in India, the layoffs currently do not seem to affect developer roles. Instead, they have primarily impacted positions in recruitment, customer support, trust and safety, and IT. However, this situation may change as the Saudi sale gets closer. An email sent to employees in EA FanCare explained that the layoffs were intended to adapt how we work to better meet fans' changing needs. Additionally, the email included the following: as part of this evolution, we are making or proposing to make changes to some roles, creating new roles, and moving certain work to different teams, locations, or service partners.
We tried to warn them that this day would come. We said that the layoffs would get much worse, and it's still gonna get much worse even after the Saudi Arabia buyout, because they have to do a lot of cleaning. Moving on to the disaster that is Xbox raising the prices of their consoles yet again for the third time in a year.
A third price increase has hit Xbox, and it's bad. It's really bad. Xbox is thoroughly, completely fucked at this rate, especially them being last in the console race and their current standing when it comes to hardware sales not being good, and just the platform as a whole still having a lot of uphill battles to tackle before they can kind of start gaining momentum akin to Nintendo and PlayStation. So here it is, folks. Xbox's social media page posted the following updated Xbox console prices effective August 1st, which is like a little over a month from now. Effective August 1st, 2026, we'll be updating prices worldwide. The price of Xbox consoles will increase by $100 for the 512 gigabyte models and a whopping $150 for the 1 terabyte models. We will also be sunsetting our 2 terabyte model. The prices for 2 terabyte SSDs has gotten so expensive that they cannot even afford to keep the 2 terabyte model up and running. This is something that they have to sunset because they probably can't find the components for it. And even if they did, the prices for the 2 terabyte models would be utterly ludicrous. And the bleak part is that Xbox is hinting that this is not going to be the last of it, citing how console storage and memory prices have increased by more than 2.5 times. And we expect another doubling by the fall of 2027, meaning that over the course of the next year, we're going to continue to see price increases for computing components and for gaming hardware, such as Xboxes. And no doubt we'll see similar price increases for PlayStation, for Nintendo Switch, and like the Steam Machine, the Steam Deck. All of those things will be afflicted by the continuous doubling of computing hardware and electronics, and you have artificial intelligence to thank for all of this. So what this effectively means is that the Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte version will go from $400 to $500. The Series S 1 terabyte version will go from $450 to $600, and then the Xbox Series X 1 terabyte version will go from $650 to a whopping $800 for the disk drive version, and the Series X 1 terabyte digital version will go from $600 to a whopping $750.
Saying that the prices are going to increase by double by next year? I highly doubt that. I think they're going to double by the beginning of next year, not at the end. I think they're going to be 6x by this time next year. Moving on to Supergirl being an absolute goy-flop disaster, and this is only the beginning of the drama. I'm gonna get even more into it in the next video.
Supergirl movie is floundering, no tickets sold, and getting terribly reviewed? Oh, really?
You know, we have no formula in the cast.
Supergirl debuts on Rotten Tomatoes 59%. Supergirl is a super horrendous comic book movie with the worst script that I can remember. Man, that's too bad, huh? Another female superhero movie bombing.
Whoopsie daisy! Whoopsie daisy!
According to IMDb, the woman who wrote this film only written short films in 2018 and nothing else. She's also writing the next Wonder Woman and Teen Titans films. How do you achieve that from one short film? Pre-sales for the first screening of Supergirl. And let me guess, the orange ones are the ones that are sold?
Have you heard from the fans, specifically from the LGBT community, about how they've been able to relate to your character?
I've just had a few people ask me about her and about her because it's Pride Month and all that, and I think that she's a really great representation of what a modern woman can be. She can be strong, she can be tough, she can be messy. I love how this film doesn't center around any sort of love, you know? It doesn't center around romance or anything like that at all, and she has such resilience.
Why is that like a good thing necessarily? So then who's it for?
A big problem in the movie is I didn't find Kara to be particularly likable for a lot of it. She's the basic hot mess, crash out disaster that's posturing herself as the...
You know why? Because I wonder what the writers are. I realized this recently. The reason why they're so defensive of you attacking their characters in movies is because the characters are self-inserts. It's because they think that they're the characters.
If you look into how children play, it tracks. When boys play, they are Batman. When girls play, Batgirl is them. Like, they themselves are Batgirl. A boy will take the role of Batman. A girl would be herself as Batgirl. Does that make any sense? I'm really gonna hammer this home right now. A boy is gonna be Bruce Banner as the Hulk. A girl named Katrina is gonna still be Katrina, but she's gonna be She-Hulk. They self-insert themselves into the character.
But even by the end, I didn't feel the ending was earned. For an arc of someone stepping up to be the person they're supposed to be, you know, to be a hero, the whole thing feels forced.
The problem, I think, of what happens, whenever your identity politics and intersectionality tier list takes precedence over telling a good story, the story is then replaced by an ideology. You can't have women that make really bad mistakes or that do anything wrong in a genuine way, because in doing so, it would be placing a female in a position that is not advantageous or makes them look bad. Because of that, all of the female stories nowadays are unearned success.
What I liked the best part of this Supergirl movie, Jason
end?
Momoa as Lobo. Yeah. Is it ironic that
I think everybody's wanted him to be Lobo. People have wanted this forever.
The best part of Supergirl is the main man?
The best part of Supergirl is the main male actor. Many such cases.
This was the incredible script that was apparently by implication better than the rest. This was pretty rough.
So didn't Supergirl actress say the movie isn't for Christian dads? I don't think that anybody cares about that. This is the reality. It's like the reason why it was a big deal that like Rachel Zegler said that about Snow White.
It's really not about the love story at all. The guy who literally stalks her.
Is because Snow White was a huge franchise. What I'm saying is like nobody knows enough about the movie to even care enough to boycott it.
But in honor of Pride Month, as I'm getting all these questions, I don't know. I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all. I don't know.
It's great.
Should probably go both ways.
What the fuck?
Moving on from that complete train wreck of a movie, for now, Bungie was just gutted by Sony! Oh, the horror! Oh, the humanity! Who could have ever seen this coming?
It's that time again, everyone's favorite game to talk about, but not actually play, Marathon. And today we have some massive news. Bungie has finally announced the layoffs that have been heavily reported over the better part of the past, 2 weeks at this point. But the thing that's been predicted for, I don't know, the better part of what feels like almost half a year at this point, with nearly 400 people at Bungie being let go. As of right now, it is 12:23 p.m. on June 25th, 2026, as of recording, and we have 7,629 people concordantly playing Marathon. And my goodness, this is a new low. I feel like every time I talk about this game, it's the same line.
I really don't understand why they shut down Destiny 2 and why they're keeping Marathon going. I actually think I have the reasoning behind it. I think they had plans to shut down Destiny 2 because they thought Marathon was going to take off and be a success, and the bureaucracy is so deep that even when they found out that Marathon was not going to be this runaway success, that they couldn't do anything about the shutdown of Destiny 2. That's just what I think happened.
And before I even go into the layoffs and everything that's going on with that, we need to compare this directly against Destiny 2 because of what Bungie announced with their layoffs. Remember, 7,629 concurrent players with a 24-hour peak of 9,131 players? Well, Destiny 2 has 67,462 concurrently playing with a 24-hour peak of 92,077. And here's what Bungie decided to post with that information in mind. With great sadness, we are announcing a reduction in force as we reorganize. As the leaders of Bungie, past and present, we recognize Destiny 2 fell short of expectations these past several years.
Years. That's funny because people have been defending this game up until recently. Very, very hardcore, saying that no, Destiny 2 is actually one of the biggest and most successful games of all time. Once again, we were right and they were wrong, and they were gassing them up for no reason, and just because of that, you killed the thing that you love. Congratulations, I guess. Congratulations that you wanted people to stop talking shit about your game. Well, now you're gonna get it because they're shutting it all down.
Following our final content update to Destiny 2, and with our future projects still in early incubation, read, they got nothing going on, we unfortunately could not continue operating at our previous size. We know this decision has a profound impact on the people affected, their families, friends, and teammates. While these changes are necessary to the best position in the studio now and for the future, that does not lessen the difficulty of this moment or the impact it has on those affected. Weird. Nothing about Marathon here? Later, we will share more about that future with you all, but today is not that day. Today, we wish to extend our gratitude and compassion to every member of the Bungie team who has been impacted and to those who remain. We hope you will do the same. No, I won't. Fries in the bag. I don't care.
I hate to say I told you so, but fucking told you so. Should have listened in the first place. Moving on to the series that would be an insult to garbage to call it garbage. The Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series.
Netflix really might have beaten our expectations for the live action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, because we all knew it was going to be terrible. But this bad? Yeah, it might be even worse than we thought. And you know what? I got to correct myself. They say this is season 2. I didn't even realize season 1 was out yet. I guess it came out in 2024. I just looked up. Dude, I didn't see anyone talking about it at all.
The only people I saw talking about it were commentary channels who absolutely thought it was garbage, and people who were glazing it just to be on the opposite side, which is usually a bad sign every single time it happens.
Looks horrible. This season 2 looks horrible. If season 1 was just like this, which it probably was, I mean, what a complete disaster. By the way, this is supposed to be Azula. And let me also emphasize, literally everything about this is worse when you're actually playing it too. Like the screenshot freeze frames are not doing justice to just how horrible this is. Everyone is mocking this. This looks like a State Farm commercial. That is a crazy insult. What are we doing here? Looks terrible. Got the Hiei meme. Gotta love him. Wait, this isn't AI? Oh my gosh, it looks so bad. We got Fat Azula before GTA 6. So you know how copyright is. I'm not going to play the full clip, but like we'll skip around a little bit, you know? Like it just looks so bad, so unnecessary. You guys know I already really dislike live action adaptations of intellectual property. It's just like, hey, we're going to make a worse version.
I saw on X earlier today, I just had to fucking comment on it. There was a guy who said, I'm actually enjoying watching Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series. I can just turn my brain off and just turn it on and just sit back and relax and just enjoy it. Which is not what Avatar: The Last Airbender is supposed to be. It's supposed to be an experience that is deep. And there's a bunch of retards just watching at surface level, and then they're glazing it online and hardcore defending it, and it's not helping anything.
Be sure to watch it. Yeah, no. Netflix is all like, Toph has arrived. And I'm like, where's Toph? This is not a blind joke or me having a one-eye joke. Like, I don't see Toph. Where's Toph? There's no Toph here. There's no Aang here. This is a complete mockery. People hate this, and completely justified. Look, we scroll down. There is no live action ATLA. You know, Boston say joke. Are they fighting in sand? Toph literally said she can't see in sand. It makes everything fuzzy. Do these people even watch the show at all? What an insane downgrade about Boulder. Not gonna lie, looks like it was made with AI. Do people genuinely enjoy these live actions? I need to know, because I would rather rewatch the original for the 100th time before I think about watching this.
I guarantee you nobody actually sat down and watched it. If they did, they did the thing where they turned their brain off. But I think that they just watched the popular clips and they just recreated everything around the popular clips. I mean, why would they bother reading the source material? Why would they bother watching the source material if they can do so much better than the original creators? Because that's what they all think every single time. That's why they change shit. And of course, it's a part of early 2000s American culture, so they have to do everything they can to just make it their own and ruin the original. How original.
Based comment. Everything is so slow and unexciting. The fact that it's an atrocious adaptation aside, as a standalone show, it's just so boring and bland. That tweet getting 13,000 likes. We'll skip through this a little bit. You can just kind of like take a look here. I mean, I'll play a few seconds. Like, yeah, okay. And then maybe skip a little bit, play another second. Look at this. Look, like, bro. They thought they cooked with this. Wow. See, there's Toph. There we go. This tweet got 32,000 likes. It said, after using 200 freaking tons of dollars, we managed to recreate the original scene, but slower, more expressionless, and with less impact in the attacks. No need to thank us. We'll keep doing it. And the writing for this being awful was on the walls, on top of it being a live action adaptation, which you already know from the get-go, like 99% chance, 99.9% chance it's going to be awful. It was even worse for this because there was news years ago. Netflix's Avatar boss says making the live action series after the original creators left over creative differences was absolutely daunting. Now, I would also say the mistake they made was signing off on it to begin with, but I'm not too sure how that part works. I think the rights were belonging fully to Nickelodeon, so it was Nickelodeon's call, not really DiMartino's and Konietzko's, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
And that is all for this video. I'll see you next time. Subscribe.